Hello, everyone. Good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you are right now. My name is Burhan Sebin. I'm the founder of Miami AI Hub. We are here located at Miami, the capital of the crypto right now. And thanks, James and Grant, for being part of this and putting all this together. And thank every one of you for being here as well. So, what we are trying to do here in Miami AI Hub generally, we are trying to shape Miami as an AI hub and its true community. So we started over a year ago and now we grew about 2,000 members. What we are trying to achieve here today, this amazing technology, Polkadot, we are gonna see we're gonna hear from experts and great people here how they're building their AI projects on Polkadot. And without further ado, let's start, let's kick it in. And I really want to thanks once again all the speakers, panelists, especially James and Grant, the founder of GPT Tuesday. And I think Grant, you can take it from here. Let's let's give it up for him.
Thank you so much, Borhan. As always, Borhan's been a great friend of mine, and I'm the founder of GP Tuesdays. So we've been now running since June of 2023, and we're one of the longest running and one of the largest AI communities here in Miami. We bring together AI engineers, business professionals, and researchers, enthusiasts, and students so that we can all stay ahead of the AI wave. Our goal is to bring communities around the world. We are now opening up a community in Brazil as well. So to all my Brazilian friends, hello. And yeah, so also some of my backstory, I was also in crypto, helped build the Bitcoin dollar cost average calculator, which was featured on Forbes, CoinDesk, Cointelegraph, Yahoo Finance, and a lot of other places like Bitcoin Magazine. I built crypto scenarios, which was sold to coinledger.io. So I'm very excited to learn more about what's being done today on Polkadot. And so I want to give a special thanks again to Borhan, all the speakers here, and James for kicking it off into high gear right now. So thank you, everyone, and enjoy the event.
All right, I just want to confirm everyone can see my slides, correct? Yes? All right. So welcome, everybody, and thank you, Grant and Borhan, for the opportunity to present tonight. Looking forward to having a good conversation around what's happening in Web3 and decentralized AI, specifically in the Polkadot ecosystem. I'm going to spend just a few seconds and a couple slides giving some background information on me and who's going to be speaking tonight, but I really quickly want to turn it over to the speakers because that is why we are really here tonight. So very quickly, for anybody watching the live stream or perhaps watching the recording after the fact, for those of you that do not know me, my name is James Slusser. I am a founder of Kurkuma, which is my one-man consulting agency that is based in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I wear many hats within the Polkadot ecosystem, but as the senior ambassador, I am looking to grow Polkadot across the state of Florida. I'm particularly focused on activating the community here in South Florida. And I gave a talk last month at the Miami AI Hub where I gave an overview of Polkadot and its ecosystem and its tech. And I briefly mentioned some of the exciting AI projects that are building on Polkadot today. Tonight, I'm really happy to bring back actual founders and lead tech folks from within those projects. And they're going to go a deep dive into that tech. They're going to talk about their experiences building on Polkadot and answer any questions that you might have. We also have a few other representatives from within the ecosystem, but I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves. But for me, if anybody wants to ask me anything after the fact, I'm super reachable. You can see my handle is @jslusser on all the socials. And I look forward to answering your questions and talking with you further. I'm also at most of the events in South Florida, so you have a chance to see me in real life as well. I would be remiss if I didn't revisit the mission statement of Polkadot, which quite simply is to provide a scalable, secure, and resilient platform for Web3 applications and services. And here is an overview of the amazing lineup of speakers that we have here tonight. Again, I'm going to let them each introduce themselves, the companies that they're with, and the areas that they're going to be talking to. And then after we get through the speakers, we're going to revisit any Q&A that we didn't answer within the respective sections. We're going to give away some prizes at the very end. One note on the prizes, I am going to ask that whoever gets whose name is drawn, that they be local, because I'll explain further, but you're going to have to pick up the prizes in person, and that's not going to work if you're dialing in from halfway around the world. And then we'll have a few other slides on some other places you can learn more about Polkadot and what we're doing in South Florida. But with that, I'm going to pass it over to Filippo, and he's going to tell you a little bit about himself, the Web3 Foundation, and some exciting developments. Filippo.
Hello. I hope you cannot see this, my presentation. Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm Filippo, and I'm a Web3 educator at the Web3 Foundation in Zug. So without further ado, I will go to my presentation of today, which is about the Polkadot Cloud, which is basically here I put a Jam-powered Web3 cloud services. So if maybe of you are not familiar with Jam or with Polkadot, Polkadot is essentially how this is constructed. There is like this relay chain, and attached to this relay chain, now we have different rollups or different blockchains. And there is this recent development that basically is about kind of replacing this relay chain with this Jam chain. So this this will create a Jam-powered Web3 cloud service, essentially. And this presentation is about this. So the Polkadot Cloud. The Polkadot Cloud is a secure and scalable and resilient platform, as it was just said, for Web3 application and services. So what does this mean exactly? So essentially what Polkadot is a supercomputer, and is a computer that is made by different multiple computers that are scattered around the world. And this provides different Web3 services. For example, an execution service where, for example, blockchains can send data to Polkadot for being secure. Then there is a finality service, essentially like pushing data into the Polkadot blockchain, into the state. And this is what is called as a finality service. A data availability service, where you can actually get data saved into this, how to say, like in this data availability storage, and this data can be used before actually the data are finalized into the blockchain. So this data availability is basically programmable. Polkadot has currently a data availability system, but is not programmable from for the developers. So essentially, this will be something that the developers can use when they're building their applications. And then we have also this object storage service, a blockchain hosting service. Now Polkadot is just for blockchains, but what Jam will do to Polkadot is that essentially will allow anything to be deployed as a service on Jam, on the Polkadot Cloud. So we will have blockchains, but we can have also like contracts, and we can have more exotic things that people can come up with when they create a service. And a smart contract also hosting service will possible to have smart contracts. So you don't have to like worry about launching your own blockchains. You just deploy your code, and the Polkadot Cloud will take care of it. So this is something that has been like discussed in the recent couple of weeks about the narrative about the jam chain and the Polkadot Cloud. The specification of the Polkadot Cloud, it will be 1,000 and more computers. So there will be a lot of computers, and these computers are usually like they're grouped into cores. You can imagine that Polkadot is like a giant computer with a giant CPU, and this CPU has different cores. There will be 341. They will be highly decentralized, like with a Nakamoto coefficient of more than 300, and I think currently Polkadot has close to 100. And it's probably the most, I think it's the most decentralized blockchain right now. And then we have 85x single CPU load, 852 megabytes of input and output, 2 petabytes of data availability. So we have a huge data availability layer that can be used for applications. And it will allow to have more than 1 million transactions per second. So already, like right now, Polkadot has currently allows close to 1,000 transactions per second, standardized transaction per second, for each of the blockchains that are running on top of it. Currently, there are like 50 blockchains, and one blockchain is actually using one core. So it has 50 core right now with Polkadot Cloud and Jam. It will be scaled to 341 cores. What are these cores? So this can be, Polkadot is usually like represented as a relay chain, and attached to this relay chain we have different parachains. And here you can see the circle is the relay chain, and attached to this relay chain you can see like different like structures. These are like real blockchains, and if we zoom in into 2 of these kind of blockchains, we can see like on the relay chain we have 2 cores, and a core is made by different computers. So as I said at the beginning, is a supercomputer. Polkadot is a supercomputer. We have many computers scattered around the globe, but these computers are kind of how to say, like they're kind of like forming this super CPU, this computation unit, and with different cores. And currently there are 5 computers per core, as you can see here. So this is actually the structure of the cores, like the structure of the hardware where the Polkadot Cloud is running basically on. So a quick demonstration about how it works for blockchain hosting service. Currently here on the left, you can see that you have the 2 cores, and attached to 2 cores you have chain 1 and chain 2. And actually you can see like on the top of each chain there is like a graph or a histogram that is showing the load of the core, in this case core 1, during time. And you can see that there might be the situation where a chain is using a high throughput. Is using it needs to push a lot of data to Polkadot, and in this case we can see that we are reaching 100% and we are maxing out. Actually, the chain 1 needs more computation, while chain 2 here is at 25% load, right? So what happens with Polkadot is that chain 1 can actually offload some of the work to the core 2. It can plug into core 2, and it can interlace the workload with the chain 2, as you can see here. So this allows tremendous scalability. This is a possibility that Polkadot has, because it has these cores. And in core 2, essentially, this is what happens here is like that you have a possibility of having multi-threading. So it's possible to have this concurrency computation on the same core from different applications. In this case, there are 2 chains, but it can be something else. So it's a possibility of utilizing these computation resources as efficiently as possible. And here I put like we have different possibilities, I mean, different features that Polkadot has. One is the pipelining. The pipelining essentially allows to basically increase the throughput via one core. Then we have the scheduling, and the scheduling is exactly what you saw here, is the possibility of basically having the time, having basically the computation on demand. So if I am maxing out and I'm using a lot of resources, I can plug in into another core, for example. So this is a very flexible system that that allows to utilize these resources from these computers as efficiently as possible. And then we also have this multi-threading, as I said here, possibility of like interlacing tasks. And then we have also possibility of having parallel computing. So one chain can actually use 2 cores at the same time if they need a lot of throughput, because of course, like a core has a limited computation. So if a service, if a chain needs more, there is a possibility of utilizing an additional core. So it's a very highly scalable system that provides really secure computation for Web3 services. So we have a lot of apps on Polkadot, of course, because of this already highly scalable system. We have like from privacy and from bridges and DeFi, prediction markets, and of course we have AI and computing, as you can see here. And I would like to make an example of NeuroWeb, the raise of this NeuroWeb blockchain that is attached to Polkadot. And the NeuroWeb blockchain is part of the OriginTrail project, where OriginTrail, if you guys know, I mean, it's decentralized knowledge graph. And what NeuroWeb does is this knowledge mining. So they are really like using a lot of transaction. As you can see here, they really picked up a lot in September. And this is actually an old graph, because in October was even more than that. So this is to demonstrate that there are applications that they really need a lot of throughput out there, and AI is one of these applications. And Polkadot can allow these applications to basically exist, because it provides security for these applications to run. They don't have to bootstrap their own security. Polkadot has this shared security system. So if you plug into Polkadot, you can benefit from, of course, from a lot of Web3 services, but you also get security, shared security. So in just a summary here is like Jam evolves Polkadot from just hosting blockchains to hosting any kind of service application, really. So the schematics that I showed about chain 1 and chain 2 with Jam and the Polkadot cloud, it can be anything, not only blockchains. It can be like contracts and other things that people can can come up with. So it's a really like evolving this giant supercomputer to be more general, of course. There are like slight benefits that from the current model that I won't go too much in detail about this, but if people are happy to ask questions, I think it's a good time to take them. And this is it. I think like I have some room for questions. Well, quite quick. But if you guys want to learn more about the Polkadot ecosystem and about Gem, or with like how Polkadot works, or programs and funding, and the governance or the staking, you can go on the Polkadot wiki, and you can find a lot of information there. Thank you very much.
That was amazing. Very incredible. Very incredible. I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to James, and we'll be moving it forward with Branimir.
Yep. The one comment I would say following Filippo is if it's the first time you're hearing this concept, it can be a little confusing. So some of you may be scratching your head saying, I don't really understand what he just said. But if you chew on it a little bit after the fact, or if we can talk about it at any chance we get, it's actually some incredibly exciting news what's coming with Polkadot when Jam rolls out next year. Because as Filippo said, when we had some of these really large projects that are cranking out millions of transactions every month, we knew the tech could handle it, but until we actually had the real world experience, we weren't sure exactly what the experience was going to be like. And when we add on both projects like AI and some of our large gaming projects that have these massive volumes of transactions, the really wonderful thing from our perspective is the Polkadot tech handled it flawlessly. Like, it wasn't even a bump in the road. And I was really pleased, and I think we were all really pleased to see that happen. And that's just on the tech that we have today. And knowing what's coming in the future when this Jam technology rolls out next year, the numbers really are just kind of jaw-dropping when you think about what we're going to be able to run on Polkadot. And Burhan, that's when I said last month at the talk, where we literally say, when you think about what Amazon has done to Web2 services, we truly believe Polkadot is going to do that for Web3. And I think we are showing it in real life. And I think it's really, really exciting. So thank you, Filippo. And
yeah, I just wanted to add that, I mean, Polkadot already now is a very advanced blockchain protocol that already allows to do many of these things that I already said. The only thing is that Gem makes it more general, so you can like run anything on top of it. Of course, more performant. It allows essentially to really like host and becoming this service provider. And yeah, it's exciting. Of course, like it provides like new possibilities for developers to have like a clear specification that Polkadot has been like a little bit lacking. So the gray paper that has been like released by Gavin Wood, that allows really to people to code in different languages for Gem. And there's all this resiliency that they really want to make it resilient, a very resilient protocol with different specification, not only one. So yeah, it's an exciting time to be in here.
And there's one question from the live stream. James, please let me know if we have enough time. But the question is, can you touch a little bit on interoperability?
That's I mean the Polkadot ecosystem right now, you have the relay chain, and of course, like all these blockchains, this layer one essentially, because it's a layer one blockchain, they can communicate via XCM, cross-chain messaging, and this is it's a highly secure system. For example, I don't know, one of my favorite route, of course, is like using DEXs, so I can like bridge. I mean, send through XCM dot to hydration, which is a DEX, and I can swap for tokens, right? I'm basically using two blockchains. I'm using the relay chain and I'm using hydration via XCM. And this can be easily done with the mobile wallets. It's just one click, you just transfer it. And just a different layer of it. So, yeah, I mean, recently also released Snowbridge, and recently also Hyperbridge launched. These are like bridges that are bridging Polkadot to other consensuses. Like Snowbridge is a Polkadot to Ethereum, is a trustless bridge. So you can bridge between Ethereum and Polkadot. Of course, it's still ETH, but ETH that are bridged by different bridges are different. So you cannot like bridge ETH from Ethereum to Polkadot using Snowbridge and then bridging back using Hyperbridge. So it's something that people need to, to be careful about this. Right. While Hyperbridge is a more general bridge, it's not only to Ethereum, but it's also bridging to layer 2s. So we can see like how this trustless way of bridging, which is a secure way of bridging, is not like a centralized bridge, is they're popping up right now, and is exciting as well because it's a new era of like bridging between blockchains.
Oh wow, very exciting.
And it is EVM. Polkadot is EVM compatible. You do have the ability to run smart contracts through some of our projects.
You can run smart contract on EVM compatible chains like Moonbeam, A-Star. Hydration is also supporting EVM. Not in all blockchain. Of course, you need to have a blockchain that supports EVM, and then you can deploy smart contracts on those.
Yeah, the person is thanking you for the interesting answer on interoperability, as well as someone was asking really quickly, is that still on ETH? Is it just a different layer of ETH, or
Polkadot.
The question exactly is that. Yeah, I mean, sorry. The question was, that is still ETH, just a different layer of it. Yeah. Anyways.
Which one? I don't understand. I mean,
yeah, I'll just show the question.
A totally different blockchain. It's
right. Exactly. Right. Yeah.
It's a totally different blockchain protocol.
Right. Yeah. So
but
I'll
yes,
go ahead
you
and
can.
pass James. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Filippo. And I think with that, we're going to turn it over to Branimir. And just to let the audience know, Branimir is going to be running to catch an airplane in about 30 minutes, so he does have a hard cutoff. But I'm very excited to welcome to the stage Branimir and let him do an intro and have him go into several projects that he's here to talk about tonight. So please welcome Branimir.
Thank you so much, Filippo, and welcome, Branimir.
Hello, hi everybody. Good afternoon, evening, morning. Calling in from Bangkok, so for me it's super early morning. And like James said, I'll need to run at the end of this, so maybe the questions, if you have them, are best posted like on Twitter or Telegram. So without further ado, I'm just gonna go ahead and share my screen and present, or sorry, I see Grant, you want to take the word. Go ahead, man.
Already on it.
Or not, should I? And can somebody please confirm you guys see the screen? Okay, like, do you see the Pope?
I'm working on it right now. I'm only seeing a white screen. There we go. You're good now.
Okay, trying again. So you see the Pope now, right? Pope test, that's how we can call this one.
Yep, we see it.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Awesome, I can hear you, great.
Perfect.
So, hi again, everybody. Like introduced, I'm Branimir, one of the founders of OriginTrail and NeuroWeb, the project that was previously mentioned in Filippo's presentation as one of the fastest growing blockchains on Polkadot. And to add on your last, one of your last questions, it's also an EVM-enabled chain. So there's, I believe, plenty of chains in Polkadot ecosystem for EVM builders who can pick, their environment if they are looking specifically to do something like EVM. But if you're looking to do more, there's actually much more. And I agree, Jam is a great thing coming up, but it's not like the technology right now is not great as well. So it's actually very powerful. So if you're interested in building in Polkadot, you can also look up NeuroWeb because there's a lot of learnings to be found there, especially when it comes to scalability. Today, I'll briefly introduce this notion of trusting the source and what OriginTrail is about today and what we mean by collective neurosymbolic AI. So what do we mean specifically? I mean is how to tackle certain problems, such as the problem of today's generative AI of hallucinating, producing problematic content such as fake news. And one of that examples is here on the right of the screen. You can see this cute little poke, which is kind of a benevolent example of something that was generated by AI, I think 2 years ago. And today, obviously, there's many more and more sophisticated types of content like this. The tricky part becomes when the web is overflown by this content. So right now, we still believe that most of the content on the web is sort of human generated, but there will be a certain point in time where AI generated content will overrun human generated content, and this can be concerning. For example, there's some research, very recent research, that shows that AI generated tweets are 3% more convincing than human produced tweets, generated tweets. 3% might not sound like a lot, but 3%, it's a trend, it's a clear trend, and that means the AI is becoming more convincing than people. So you can imagine all kinds of things, from like the recent election you guys had over there, which was the big global event, being really controlled by all of the information or misinformation being shuffled around. What's going to happen when we have much more AI content? And so I'm going to address our vision towards how we can tackle such problems in the world today, basically. So, but before that, we need to touch upon like what kind of is the culprit of the problem. LLMs really are a great technology. They're this generative AI breakthrough that we got a few years ago with ChatGPT. However, they are great only at certain things. So, for example, you can ask it to write a poem for you in the style of Shakespeare, and it will be an incredibly similar style of Shakespeare, and the outcome of it will be, some sort of creation that you might be happy with or not, but it's not wrong because you asked it, create a poem that kind of sounds like Shakespeare about whatever, Miami. But yet again, if you ask it for a fact, like for example, who's the prime minister of Denmark, you actually cannot trust it. It might totally hallucinate and tell you something that's not true. And that goes for every LLM. It's not actually a bug, it's a feature. LLMs hallucinate as a feature. They learn statistically to guess the next best word, and therefore, they're a really good guesser, but ultimately they're just a guesser. So that's why Gary Marcus, the leading AI critic, calls them brilliantly stupid. And we really very much align with his thinking. Also, on the other hand, it's not just a problem of generating problematic content, it's also a problem of privacy. So you might have seen Claude recently launch a feature where Claude AI can control your computer. Microsoft did something similar recently with screenshotting, but actually took the feature back because of actually, I think, concerns that were on point, where folks were just generally unsure if they want to give that much power to Microsoft and then these big centralized companies. Nothing against them personally so much, but in terms of giving away the power of an intelligent LLM who can also go rogue, but also to have the ability to just control my computer and do whatever with it, including potentially using blockchain keys, doesn't resonate so well with me. So it's a problem of privacy as well, because it has access to your computer, has access to all your data, and really it's also a problem of bias. So there's big centralized entities that control these LLMs naturally introduce some level of bias into the system. So ultimately, we have an AI that looks very exciting, but has potential to trick us, to take us into a direction of somebody's maybe political agenda or whatever ideology, and then basically steal all of our data in a totally non-privacy preserving way. I'm sure you guys have seen that those protests happening all around when it comes to artists wanting to protect their intellectual property, and how big was that when it comes to AI. So a bunch of problems happening all around the world. So what we feel is a way forward for AI to actually tackle a bunch of these problems is an analogous approach to the way our brains work. And so the analogy really comes from this left-right brain approach, where we have the right brain, which is creative, just like LLMs. It's able to produce stories. It's able to, create new predictions. And then on the other side, we have the left brain, which is very rational, mathematical, structured, fact-based. In a way, the combo of those two has been a paradigm discussed within sort of the consciousness and neuroscience space for quite some time. So ultimately, even though it's maybe not precisely correct in terms of what our current knowledge is, those two components still as working together work actually really well. So on one side, we have the generative, statistical, natural interactions that allow for this creativity. On the other side, we have facts, which means we can very precisely represent knowledge. We can apply logical reasoning on that knowledge. So that means I can sort of discern certain facts. And then based on these facts, I can logically come up to some conclusions. For example, that a child of a child is a grandchild of the initial person, whoever that represented person is. Very simple reasoning, but non-statistical, actually mathematical. And then we can do rule-based inference. For example, this left side, there's been a lot of development in the ontology space that allows that ontological reasoning to happen. And this is really symbolic AI. So the left side, the factual AI, this is the symbolic AI. It's an older branch of AI. And the creative branch is this generative LLM branch of AI. So in our vision of reaching a collective neurosymbolic AI, we see NeuroWeb as the blockchain that we've spawned on Polkadot, as the place where this multimodal neural AI is rooted, where we have also humans in the loop through collective governance and verifiable basis through this highly scalable blockchain. And on the other side, on the left side, the fact side, we have the DKG, the decentralized knowledge graph, which actually is not a blockchain. It is what we call a knowledge graph, a symbolic AI technology, but a decentralized one. And it applies factual models, symbolic AI engine, and basically inherently has knowledge provenance and ownership protected. So for example, if I were to add something to the DKG, like I could, as an artist, add information about the music, all of that would be represented in knowledge graph form, and it would always show that I was the creator. Effectively, I would mint something we call a knowledge asset, which was actually a knowledge NFT. That NFT would live on NeuroWeb, and the knowledge would live in the DKG. You can look at it from another perspective. Super high level, we have at the bottom the trust layer of blockchains. Actually, the DKG supports multiple blockchains, including Ethereum. And this trust layer is just there to provide consensus, to provide the trust, but not to store the data, because that wouldn't be scalable. The second layer, knowledge base, is actually there to store all of this knowledge graph information. You can think of it as a kind of a graph database, which is decentralized. And because we don't have the limitation of consensus on this layer, we can actually be much faster in terms of data operations. So only when we need to reach for consensus, we can go to the trust layer below. Finally, on top, building this verifiable AI, which uses these bottom layers where every output from an AI, even generative AI, can actually come strictly from the knowledge base and the blockchains below. So that would mean, for example, you could build a chatbot on OriginTrail, and you can tell it only answer from this knowledge base, and only do so if the source is verifiable and coming from, I don't know, this list of sources. So you can filter what you give generative AI using these symbolic technologies, and then ensure that the outputs are correct, basically, because it won't hallucinate if you're directing it to basically extract information. For example, who is the Prime Minister of Denmark? If that's in the knowledge base, it will be extracted and shown, and you will see exactly which knowledge asset was the source of that information. So having that said, I'll quickly run through three major building blocks of this collective neurosymbolic AI. We believe it has to be collective because all humans need to be able to contribute to it. Number one is these knowledge paranets. Number two is edge nodes. And number three, collective programmatic treasury. I'll run through this very quickly, but there's a lot of details online that you can look into. So very quickly, knowledge paranets are collections of knowledge assets. They're basically focused on a topic. So for example, there's a a knowledge parent launching about DeSci, I believe next week on OriginTrail, where they collect information about all kinds of knowledge in the neuroscience field, science papers, reviews, and so forth. For that, they use some specific ontologies, and they're built by a specific team. So you can launch your project on OriginTrail by launching a parent and making sort of your rules of what this knowledge base should be. It's completely permissionless and open source. Anybody can do this. And you can provide human-in-the-loop incentives. So the chain, the NeuroWeb blockchain on Polkadot, through its governance, opens up an option for you to actually ask the treasury for some amount of tokens. Specifically, the DeSci team asked for 5 million tokens to reward contributors. So contributors basically growing this knowledge graph. So if somebody is adding knowledge to the parent, to your knowledge graph as a team, programmatically you can reward them, let's say 50 neuro tokens, because they were doing a positive thing, and incentivize them to basically add knowledge to this knowledge graph. And this is SciGraph, basically, as an example. I'll just give us a very super short video. Not sure if there's any sound, but essentially what you can do is upload papers. When you upload the papers, they get converted in knowledge graph form through something we call knowledge mining. And then basically afterwards, knowledge assets are created. They're then part of this graph. You can ask questions about this paper, for example, how many papers are related to Alzheimer's disease, and you get the result that is only coming from this knowledge base, which you can also visually explore through this tool that was built, which is basically a 3D graph representation. So this is a very new product that is about to launch on OriginTrail, and it's powered by parents. The other component is these DKG edge nodes. We're about to launch version 8 of OriginTrail, which is now in version 6 in production for many years, actually being used by a lot of global enterprises such as Walmart, Target, Home Depot over there in the US, used specifically to ensure safety of international trade. So there's actually 40% of all US imports are being tracked on OriginTrail. But not just that, we work with Swiss Railways, work with major food and beverage companies and institutions in Europe. So actually, OriginTrail needs quite a lot of scale. That's why the NeuroWeb blockchain is one of the most used blockchains in Polkadot ecosystem, because there's a lot of these knowledge assets being created. And for version 8, we need to expand. So what we're about to introduce is this notion of edge nodes running at edge devices, where you can run a node not just in the cloud, but also on your phone or laptop, and then increasing essentially capacity and making the whole iceberg actually become visible. And with that, we're going to get about 1,000 times more scalable system on the DKG layer. So what we get on top of that basically is, if you heard of RAG, which is retrieval augmented generation, we can do something called decentralized RAG. So you can query all of these edge nodes through a system of core nodes, combine them with your LLMs running wherever you want. You can run it on your machine, or you can say, I want to use ChatGPT, whatever, it's up to you. And you get this verifiable neurosymbolic AI, where basically you increase verifiability, accuracy, and context. This is generally the architecture of that node. So for builders, you can find a lot of these details on our official docs. I won't go too much into any of these services, but basically it provides all of the building blocks that you need to build your own neurosymbolic AI. And it's all open source, like I said. So think of it as your boilerplate, like LangChain is for building AI applications. You can use the V8 OriginTrail node for that, which is already live. And finally, the third block is the collective programmatic treasury. The basic principle is those who use it will build it. So there's 60 million TRAT tokens being deployed next year, explained in this RFC. If you want to scan this code, you'll get a 10-page document that will explain exactly all of the details about it and how you can be the one who builds OriginTrail and products on top of it, grows the knowledge, and therefore is able to essentially get a portion of these emissions of 60 million track tokens, which are about to be deployed on NeuroWeb blockchain specifically. So I know there was probably a lot to chew on, but I have to finish here, and I would like to invite you to start building your neurosymbolic AI today with OriginTrail. It's, like I said, open source. All of the technology is there. So 4 steps to do. If you want to also get some additional support, you can set up your project, build your MVP, and launch on mainnet. And after that, you can also apply for the Inception program, where we offer reimbursements for up to 100,000 track for knowledge publishing. You can scan this code to get started, basically. So this is your call to action to build together with us in this collective neurosymbolic AI nature. And that's it. Thanks, everybody, and hope this was interesting and that you would be building this world of collective AI together with us. Thank you. I'm going to have to run, unfortunately. So if any questions, find me on Twitter or Telegram. I'm super happy to respond at any point. I wish I could stay a bit longer, but hopefully next time I see you guys in person in Miami. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Branimir. So my audio is on, right, Grant?
Sorry, say that again.
My audio is on.
Yes, your audio is good.
All right. So yeah, I hope you found that pretty interesting and stimulating. It's a lot of information to take in a really short period of time. But anybody who is listening or watching this later, I highly encourage you to check out the OriginTrail website, dive a little deeper on everything he just said. That track incentive opportunity is a really, I think, exciting opportunity for any builders that are building anywhere in this space. I think it's a really exciting opportunity for anybody local here that wants to scratch the surface and dig a little deeper. Again, if you have questions, follow up with me, follow up with Branimir. We'll get everything answered for you. The other thing I want to add is Branimir is far too humble to mention this in his talk, but some of you know this already, but at MIT's AI Summit last month, OriginTrail came in with the top prize for everything that they're working on. So that's really exciting. That's another reason why I was really thrilled that Branimir was able to fit this talk into his schedule, because with winning that prize, everybody in the world seems to want to be talking to that team right now. So I'm grateful for the time that he shared with us. I know the next speaker that I'm going to tee up is, her nickname is Becca, and I'm going to let her introduce herself as well, but she's going to tell us all about Phala Network. And again, just to kind of toot the horn of Phala, for anybody that was watching ETH World in San Francisco last month, 2 of the finalist projects in that competition incorporated solutions from Phala in their final solution for their final presentations. So we just are having a great time with the AI projects that are building on Polkadot right now. So with that, I will yield the time over to Becca and let her go deep on Phala.
Yes, thank you, James. Hi, everyone. I am Becca, but most people know me as Ayomide. But if you cannot pronounce that, you can just call me Becca. I am the lead tech ambassador for Phala Network, and I will be going through Phala Network and what we are doing with decentralized AI. So quickly, I'm just going to present my slide. All right. Yep. Okay, great. So can everyone see my screen?
Oh, if you want, you can put in full screen, or you can leave it like this, however you prefer.
Okay, full screen. I want to go full screen.
Potentially. It's been a while. I'm not 100% sure though.
Yeah,
Go to
I'm
share
trying.
here. Yeah.
Let me
See
just send
all.
you the link. Yeah. Send you the link. And then maybe you can help me. For some reasons, I cannot.
It's okay. We'll go ahead and get through that. So yeah, sometimes the Canva can be a little funny like that. I'm gonna go on mine as well so that we can go through that together. Let's see here. But yeah, so I'm super excited to hear more about your presentation, learn more about the Phala network. It's gonna be extremely exciting, very exciting. I know that. So I'm opening up now, real quick.
Okay.
Oh, I see you have the screen here. Okay.
Yes. I'm just actually trying to play this. Sorry, guys, I'm not really that good with Canva. So I'm trying to play it as a presentation. But I guess we can just, go with it like this. Okay, full screen. Yes. So small. Yes.
And
Sorry
we're
about
good.
that,
Perfect.
guys. Yeah. So, hi, everyone. I'm Becca, and also Ayomide Bajo, lead tech ambassador, Phala Network, and I'll be going through empowering decentralized AI with trusted execution environments, which are for secure and verifiable computation. So, why does decentralized AI matter? We know that in centralized AI, we have like massive amounts of data which are stored and controlled by a few like powerful organizations like Google, ChatGPT, which is OpenAI. We also have Claude, all these guys. They have actually, grown and made like significant advancements. Like for instance, we have OpenAI, which actually started in 2014, and now they've raised billions of dollars. They already started having like adoption. It's growing. People are using the OpenAI. And while this is great because it has like significant advancement, it also raises the big questions around data privacy, transparency, and trust. So decentralized AI, aims to actually address these concerns by giving users control over the data. Now the question is, how do they achieve this? And then this brings us to the next question, or the next problem, which is the challenge of AI, of privacy in AI rather. How do we balance AI's need for data with the user's need for privacy, right? And these challenges, they actually need us to explore how we can decentralize AI, decentralized data processing, while still maintaining privacy controls. And this is where we have like trusted execution environments. This is where they become very crucial. And we would go through like the different challenges here. So here we have the privacy risk. I'm just listing two just to make this brief. But of course, we know we have so many challenges in terms of privacy in AI. So first of all, we have the privacy risks. And we know that AI models are big and they need like large data sets to, work efficiently. When you're working with your or if you're even working on a Web2 platform, you have to create a database, a vectorized database. So that means it has to be like big and be able to like accommodate huge data sets. So often these data sets, they contain sensitive information, whether it's medical records or financial transactions or personal information. These are privacy risks. And then we have trust issue because users have little or no visibility on how this data is stored. They just have to trust the centralized tech providers. Now, the role of TEEs, which are trusted execution environments in decentralized AI, is actually very important because now imagine that you actually are able to secure the way your data is being stored. So essentially, TEE is a secure zone within a computer's processor. So most modern computers have TEE. So your Intel, especially Intel XGX, SGX, these are integrated into your laptops. So your HP, your ASUS, any Intel based laptop has TEEs. So it's an isolated environment designed to execute code, handle data securely, and even when the rest of the system might be compromised. So you can think of it as a vault within the processor that protects anything outside, like anything outside. So like prevents unauthorized access or administrator access. It's secure. And TEEs give they give different advantages. And in decentralized AI, we know that TEEs are essential because now you can now allow data to be distributed across networks. And in this, you actually achieve security, trust, and scalability. And TEs can be regarded as an extra and a cheaper layer of security. Instead of using ZK proofs, you could just, sign your data with TEEs and also verify them with TEEs. And this would also give you decentralized ownership and monetization. So now you can also interact with your AI models, and own this AI model. So we will go into that in a bit later. And then these AI models can scale across a decentralized network without sacrificing privacy. And we have the privacy first data processing. That is what Phala Network is focusing on. So we have focusing on AI centric approach, modularity, and interoperability. And also, Phala Network is also a power chain on Polkadot, and so it also like leverages on the interoperability that Polkadot provides, and it gives you like secure and trustless interactions. And so now we go into Phala Network, what we do. Phala Network is an AI coprocessor for blockchains. It is the execution layer for Web3 AI, by enabling AI to understand and interact with blockchains. And it's also like the largest TEE network with about 35,000 nodes across the globe. And these nodes are all like TEE, they're all like integrated with TEE. So they all have trusted execution environments. And we also have confidential computing with CPUs and GPUs. It has also been evaluated on NVIDIA's H100 and also H200. And we have like benchmark tested. So you can go check Phala Network and you can check all the benchmark tested and the results. And what Phala Network is trying to solve is the missing AI execution layer. We know that Web3 is complex, right? And we have so many things. We have wallets, we have steps, we have so many like things that can hinder adoption. So for instance, if I want to get some tokens to base and I am on Bitcoin or maybe Binance, for instance, I have to sell and then buy some base. But now bridging has helped that, and now we can also go a step further by using AI to simplify tasks that current agents cannot like securely do, right? So now we have AI models, but now we want AI models on the blockchain. And you can also like deploy your own AI models on the blockchain and also make money off it, and also open source it and allow developers contribute to it, and you still make money off it. And so Phala's solution is a multi-proof system, and where you can build tamper-proof and like powerful AI agents that can be integrated on chain with smart contracts. So imagine you building maybe a financial or a healthcare DApp that can also make transactions on chain and also help keep or analyze patients' data, and based off of their history, you can also aggregate data and also predict symptoms or future, future diseases that might come up for each patient. Okay, so you can build AI agents with limitless possibilities. Phala Network provides, off-chain verification. So you can sign, verify messages on chain, make transactions while leveraging AI models like Claude, GPT, Gemini. You can actually leverage all these AI models and they are available for actual use. And we have a template. If you just go into the website, you have a template, check the GitHub, you have a template where you can actually, ask questions to an actual AI model and it will actually give you answers. And every data is processed in a TEE. And so if you want to come to talk about, or, you like what we're doing at Phala Network, we are also inviting ambassadors to come. You can come join if you like what we're doing, you want to advocate and you want to talk about Phala Network, or maybe you want to build stuff around or contribute to the docs. You are very welcome to come. Yes, so we have a conclusion. Moving forward, I see privacy-centric AI applications. I see them becoming essential in sectors like healthcare, finance, AOT, or anywhere trust in data security is paramount. And with Phala Network, with TEs, it shows that we can achieve a decentralized AI ecosystem that respects privacy while empowering innovation. So you can think about the Phala's work and TEs like a cheaper source for verification. So instead of you spending so much money and compute on ZK proofs, you can just easily verify these proofs or messages with TEs and then get them secured with TEs. So yeah, this is where I end. And if you have any questions, you can always I'm here. And thank you.
Amazing presentation. And as always, that was fantastic. I know I'm seeing so many great commentary inside, so many great comments inside of the live chat. So thank you so much, Becca. We really appreciate it. And I'm going to just read the question, so I'm going to read one question from Gus. You mentioned users, individuals, I assume. You will have control. Will they have universal IDs? Great info.
Great. So as always, it's still integrated on chain. So your addresses will be long strings of addresses, right? So this is going to still take the same Web3 approach. So your data won't actually be exposed necessarily, right? So people won't be able to spot you because you will still be having the normal string addresses when you're making your transactions, your, AI models, you're creating your account, except when you're creating your account to register for these AI models, which are like Red Pill. We have the Red Pill product where you actually have to register, but it doesn't really necessarily take in your KYC, right? It's just register and subscribe for the API, and then you can actually leverage on all these different AI models on the Red Pill.
Thank you so much for answering that question. James.
Great. So Ayumide, thank you for everything that you just presented. And Ayumide is another humble presenter from Polkadot that didn't quite reveal everything. So not only does she go really deep on Phala as her role there, which is quite wide, she's also a tech writer for Polytope Labs during the day. And then on top of that, just like me, she's a senior ambassador based in Nigeria. So for those of you that know me in Miami and you know everything that I do here in South Florida, she's doing that over in Nigeria on top of everything else that she's doing. So thank you for all of your contributions, Becca. I really appreciate what you did tonight. And I want to echo her offer for anyone based in South Florida that is if any of this trusted execution environment stuff resonates with you, please consider looking into becoming an ambassador with Phala. I personally would love to have some Phala ambassadors here in Miami to work with me, or Phala ambassadors anywhere in the state of Florida. So if you or your friends, if this works for any of you, absolutely hit me up, hit Becca up. I'm going to be talking more about the Polkadot ambassador program, not tonight and a couple weeks from now, but my point is, one thing that was important for me tonight on this webinar is to make sure that anybody listening has real takeaways of ways to get involved, whether that's building or jumping into an ambassador program or just playing around, getting your hands dirty and playing around with some of the tech on the different programs, running nodes, whatever it is. I want you to know that there are plenty of opportunities within the ecosystem. So find something that resonates with you and let's get you going in the right direction. So thanks again, Becca.
Awesome. Thank you, James.
All right. I am now going to share my screen because unfortunately, two speakers that I wanted to hop on tonight had last minute conflicts. Hold on, I can't evidently talk and share my screen at the same time. But I wanted to quickly talk about Bittensor and Tansy Network. So this was the initial slide that I included in my deck at my October talk. Again, if anybody wasn't there or don't remember, if you don't know Bittensor is another just massive, massive project in AI today. They don't technically run on the Polkadot relay chain, but they are using our tech. They are built on Substrate. For their particular business model, they needed a private relay chain, and so they built their own chain, which is fine. Substrate allows you to do public or private chains, so that's fine. They have a really interesting proof of intelligence consensus mechanism, and they are another decentralized AI network. The person who I was hoping that was going to be with us tonight is Cameron Fairchild, who is a core dev with Bittensor. And even though he's not able to be with us tonight, he actually just did a really interesting and fairly in-depth interview with a Polkadot video series called Space Monkeys. And again, I'm going to share this deck with all the registrants after the webinar tonight. And I would encourage you to take a look at that and learn a little bit more about Bittensor if you don't. He also gives real world examples of how you can get involved if Bittensor is your jam and you want to do some stuff there. They have another amazing, interesting programs that you can get your feet wet. And if you don't know anything about Bittensor, the second link is a full documentary that's only about 9 months old, I think, at this point, but it really walks you through the who, what, and why of Bittensor. So that's all I'm going to say about Bittensor tonight, but check out those videos. I do think it's really going to pique your curiosity. As always, follow up with me with any questions. Happy to make the connections. But that's another team that they are so crazy busy with what's happening with their own project that it's really challenging to get anybody from Bittensor to find the time to participate in talks like this tonight. I was really, really close, but unfortunately missed the mark. And then the last project I wanted to talk about was Tansy Network. Now, this is not an AI project, but the reason I'm mentioning it is at the top of the webinar, Filippo was telling you about the Polkadot Cloud and the Polkadot Hub. And in really simple terms, at least from my perspective, if anybody is listening or watching tonight and you're from an enterprise company, like running a really large business or really massive amounts of transactions, you're going to want to go directly into the Polkadot Cloud because that's the infrastructure that's going to allow you to have the throughput and the power that you need to run your projects. On the assumption that most of the people on this call are either from smaller companies or individuals or spinning up your own AI startup, the Polkadot Hub is the place for you to go for your resources. And one of the many resources that are available in the hub is something called Tansy. And so Tansy is, and I'll probably do a terrible job of explaining it instead of having the speaker here, but the way that I like to say it is Tansy is a really easy way for you to start playing today on blockchain. So they make it really easy to spin up a blockchain, which obviously those are really complex projects, but you literally can push a button and have a blockchain spun up in about a minute. Now, it comes with a fair amount of caveats, obviously, but it's a really fun way to get in and start playing around. So again, when you get the deck, check out the links, learn a little bit more. If you're really interested in going deeper, I can connect you with reps from Tansy, or I can probably answer some of your questions to begin with. But it's just one more method for you to dive in and start playing around, not only with Polkadot Tech, but with some of the projects that you've heard about tonight. So with that, I'm now going to turn it over to Sal the Weekend Esposito. I'm going to let him give a brief intro, but I'm going to do a little bit of that myself. So Sal's not necessarily from the world of AI, but he is a hometown boy here. He is based in Miami, and many of you know that Polkadot is the proud sponsor of the Inter Miami team here, and we are the official blockchain partner for them. If you've seen my Twitter feed, you know that we have a booth at in the fan zone before every home match, and I've had a really great time talking with just normies at the game who most of them don't know who Polkadot is, don't know what blockchain technology is, and it's always really fun to talk to people about how it is either already impacting their lives and they don't realize it, or it will be impacting their lives very soon. But Sal is one of a few people that really own that relationship with Inter Miami, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about everything happening with Inter Miami and a little bit about the global fan loyalty program that they are building that will be running on Polkadot Tech. So with that, I'll pass it over to Sal.
Thank you so much, James. GM, everyone. My name is Sal, known online also on Twitter as The Weekend. I've been a Polkadot ambassador for a couple of years now, and I am also co-director of the Kusamarian, one of the most popular channel in the Polkadot ecosystem, beside the official Polkadot account. For regular updates on the Polkadot world, follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Telegram. I also own hospitality business in London, Barcelona, Napoli, and here in Miami, where I currently live. My restaurant, Bellillo, is located in Brickell, downtown Miami. Soon we are launching the Margherita con Bufala Dot, a pizza shaped like the Polkadot token, and it will come with some special incentives once you're gonna order, but stay tuned for more. Today I'm here as the person who proposed the idea for Polkadot's sponsorship with Inter Miami. This is just a logo on a jersey. It's a powerful message that with the Polkadot OpenGov, anything is possible. OpenGov is a Polkadot decentralized governance system that lets the community make a key decision together. With just one dot, any member can propose, discuss, and vote on project or changes. These ensure transparency and community-driven innovation, giving real control to users and allowing them to shape the future of the network. Consider this. Today, Lionel Messi is one of the 3 most famous and followed people worldwide. Having him and Inter Miami as our ambassadors shows that the Polkadot community is unstoppable and ready to make a global impact. This partnership with MLS is groundbreaking. For those familiar with American sports, MLS is tracks like NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, with the league overseeing all the club. This made the deal complex, but we secured this partnership through 2025, all without a single Polkadot signature. Instead, we demonstrate our approvals and funding transparently through blockchain transaction. This wasn't about placing the highest bid. The club received many offers, but our shared values and vision made this partnership unique. Beyond a logo, this is about the community program and education, allowing us to connect funds in a meaningful way. Finally, as James just mentioned, while I can't reveal everything yet, I'm excited to announce that we are working with the club to create an exclusive app for fans worldwide, fully powered by Polkadot. We believe this will set a new standard in football and inspire other clubs to follow. Thank you all for the attention, and I look forward for the impact we'll make together.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Great.
Yeah, just absolutely incredible. I just want to say thank you to everyone. If anyone has any questions, please go ahead and ask. And I'm very excited to see where Polkadot is going and what it's already achieved. And I'm just so happy that we had so many great speakers today. We were really blessed to have so many great speakers from OriginTrail, you as well, James, Becca, Sal, all of you. I want to thank all of you. And I wanted to say for James, someone did say that Lamont said that you are describing it well. I think that was for one of the previous commentaries for the previous presentations. And Gus says, congrats on your alliance with Inter Miami. So take it away, James.
Great. I saw one previous comment from Time Inc. Asking if we want to talk about linking events with Art Basel. Absolutely. So please find me after the webinar today, and I would love to talk to you more about that. And another comment about the best way to learn more about AI, specifically with regard to cybersecurity. I would say that the best way to learn more about AI is from the two hosts from the webinar tonight. So if you're not already involved, absolutely go to the next events for both Miami AI Hub and GPTuesdays. I was really blown away when I first started going to those events, and you guys are killing it. And the number of attendees just seems to be going up and to the right. The quality of the speakers that you guys bring at your events continues to just be stellar. And I am so grateful to be in Miami with everything happening in AI here. With regard to AI and cybersecurity, I'm not going to take too much time talking about it this moment, but absolutely stay tuned. I have big plans specifically with AI and cybersecurity. Put a pin in that for 1 second, and I'm going to get to that in just a moment. And a comment on Tansy, but yeah, if you want to learn more about Tansy, hit me up as well. So let's see. Let me share my screen one more time. I'm already sharing it, right? So let me just make it full screen. Okay, so thank you again to all the speakers. I hope everybody listening found it interesting, and hopefully pieces, if not all of it, resonated with all of you. I hope you are curious and want to learn more, and please follow up with me with anything. I'm also really happy to announce that we are finally getting some Polkadot branded meetups happening. For those of you that know me, I've been in Florida for a long time, but I've lived and worked outside of Florida for a long time, and I've only been back in Florida for a few months now. So it's taken me a minute, but we finally got my ducks in a row, and I'm happy to announce the first 2 official Polkadot meetups that are going to be happening in November and December. I pushed out the announcements. So we use Meetup as our official registration vehicle for the Polkadot meetups. Not quite as cool as Luma, but it gets the job done. And Polkadot has meetups groups in about 130 cities around the world. So we are sticking with Meetup for the time being. If you haven't found it yet, please find the Polkadot and Kusama Miami group on meetup.com. Please join that group, and that's where you can get all of the details on the events coming up. But like I said, just pushed out the invites for these next 2 events. The event on the 26th is actually going to be at Belilo at Sal's restaurant. And we timed it so everybody could get to the happy hour and still make it to the GP Tuesday event after the fact. So because it is at a restaurant, we are capping the attendance at 50 people. So please act fast. I think that's going to fill up rather quickly. We will, of course, do giveaways, but the point of that happy hour is it is a super casual event. No presentations, no panel discussions, just some drinks and some nibbles, and hopefully some laughs and a good time. We'll have a chat about Polkadot and anything else. You are going to get to sample the new Buffalo Margarita Pizza that Sal mentioned, and a couple other interesting things will be happening there. So that should be a good time. And then also, I'm happy to announce the first meetup at the Levon Center here in Broward. That is going to follow a more traditional meetup format. So that'll be sort of, 100+ people in a room. We are going to have a presentation that night. I will go deeper into a topic that is still to be determined. And if you're not familiar with the Levon Center, in case some of the people listening are really hardcore Miamians and don't leave Miami-Dade, the Levon Center is a really, really interesting place. I was aware of it about 2 years ago when they officially opened. I had just moved outside of Florida to LA, but I kept paying attention. And so when I came back, I took a tour of the facility, was really happy to see all the progress they had made there. And so Polkadot officially joined as a member of the Levon Center a couple of weeks ago. And I am hoping to have monthly meetups at the Levon Center going forward. So we're going to have lots of different meetups in many different locations, in many different formats, but the Levon Center is probably going to be sort of an initial home just because of its location. They really are they're striving to be the tech center for the Tri-County area. Many of you know I do events from Miami-Dade through Broward through West Palm, and it's just a nice location. It's a public-private partnership between Nova Southern University and Broward County. So there's a lot of really interesting other residents there that I hope to be able to do something with. Specifically, going back to the cybersecurity comment, they have a built-for-purpose cybersecurity lab on site. And I'm working with the director of Levon on a blockchain cybersecurity curriculum workshop. Still working out the details, but hopefully that will be coming in the next few months. Polkadot ran a similar workshop in Berlin a couple of months back, and it went really well. And I'm hoping to bring that content here because anybody that's in cybersecurity that may not have the blockchain angle, I think there's some important skills that you can learn that will take you further. So stay tuned for that. The other thing I want to talk about is it's not quite ready for prime time yet, but I am spinning up a website dedicated to Polkadot for South Florida. I tried my darndest to get it ready to go before this webinar tonight, but even though I'm a software dev, I am befuddled by getting websites up and running, and I'm doing this by myself. So cut me some slack, but in the next few days, hopefully that will be live. The point of that website really is just going to be to gather email addresses, and that will be our primary method of communicating with you. Meetup's great for event registration, but not really great for conversation. So stay tuned for that. And now let me pause for a minute just to see if anybody has any other questions that we may not have answered already. And Grant, help me out here because I can't see the chat anymore because I'm sharing my screen. So
yeah, no worries. So I don't see any questions at this time, although we do see a pizza. We see a pizza emoji from Learn Polkadot and GP and guys. Oh, a question. What are the learnings from Web 3.0 and AI, and what do you foresee in the future?
I am so bullish on decentralized AI and where it's going. I think you just got a taste of everything that's happening on Polkadot today. And a lot of the companies from Phala to OriginTrail to Bittensor, like these are massive companies that are just going to get that much bigger, like the volume of transactions. And I think it's just going to become that much more pivotal in what we're doing from a computational perspective and just from a social perspective. I think it brings a lot of challenges. Brings a lot of regulatory questions for me. So I think there's been a lot of good learning already, but there's a heck of a lot more to go. So that's kind of a vanilla answer, but it's where I'm at the moment.
Yeah, and just seeing how fast Web 3.0 and AI is moving, and emerging technologies in general, it's just moving so fast and much faster. So what I'm seeing is that we're going to be living in a time where the future in the next few years, next decade, is going to be moving really quickly. And so that's why what we do is we provide communities across the world so that everyone can continue to learn from each other, so that we can learn these tools, learn AI, learn Web3, learn about quantum computing so that we can stay ahead. And it's going to be a very, very fascinating world. I've learned a lot during this conversation. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I definitely learned a lot about. I was very surprised, to hear just how deep OriginTrail is into so many different industries and companies.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
I mean, we didn't even get a chance to talk about PolkabotAI before Branimir left. I had touched on it in my talk last month, but that's another project that came out of the devs from OriginTrail and the devs from Polkadot specifically, the technical fellowship. And it's a project that we use to run blockchain education within the Polkadot ecosystem. So when you are asking questions on Discord or Telegram, there's a good chance that the Polkabot AI is helping to answer some of those questions. It's sort of like us eating our own dog food, if you will.
Right.
But I think it's important. And on the topic of education, another thing that I do with my ambassador hat, some of you have heard me say this already, but I'm in conversations with all of the higher ed institutions across the state of Florida who have blockchain curriculums, because I want to get more Rust and Substrate into those, specifically into the computer science programs, because a lot of the kids coming out with a comp sci degree today who want to work in Web3 don't have the skills when they walk out the door, and then they need to spend another X number of months upskilling before they can work in Web3. And I think that's just a opportunity cost that I don't want to miss. I want to make them employable as soon as they get out the door. But also in other aspects of Polkadot, again, we're not really covering it because this is an AI night, but gaming is another huge vertical for Polkadot. And there's a skill set there that we want to make sure that the workforce is ready for when they get out the door. So as it relates to AI, I think that is just included in the whole educational aspect of making sure that everybody is as current as they can be. But to your point, Grant, it changes so quickly that it's difficult to keep up. I personally find that exciting and exhilarating. Other people find it sort of taxing and overwhelming. I guess it depends on how you approach life and certain things. But I see nothing but opportunity for Polkadot to contribute to the educational curriculum there. And we're not the only blockchain, right? I mean, my day job with Kurkuma, I'm blockchain agnostic, and I write code for other blockchains as well. I just happen to believe in Polkadot tech is better than the others, but it's a multi-chain world, and they are going to have to talk to each other. And so we're not the only game in town. We want to be ready for whatever that future looks like, and so that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, the education aspect of things is very important, and it's a great feature that they're applying. And right now, as things are moving so fast, I think one of the things that I'm foreseeing as well is that in the past, you might become very good at a particular skill, a particular trade, and you stick with that for your life, right? There's a lot of people, but now with the new AI tools, we can become great at almost anything, by the matter of a few prompts, by using particular tools. We're now graphic designers. We're now app developers, or at the very least, we're much better at it. And soon we'll be able to do full scale apps. So I think right now what I'm foreseeing is that, we need to continue using new tools, practice by doing, and, leveraging as many as you can, so that, and have an entrepreneurial mindset to build what you want. And I think by doing so, you're going to be able to create a lot of value for the world, be able to build your own future, and you won't get left behind. And, I think that's a big thing, is that we want to make sure that people get the education necessary by providing events like these, where you can learn about the different ecosystems on Polkadot, for example. It's very, very important, and on different systems as well in the physical world. So thank you for helping make this happen, James.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I'm old enough that I have had the luxury of working in Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3. And a lot of the younger generations are growing up completely digitally native, and they never didn't have the internet. And that's a really fascinating dynamic. But now that's almost, in my mind, being replaced with AI, because I personally think AI is going to be absolutely everywhere. I think it's going to come with unlimited opportunities. As you said, if you have an entrepreneurial bent and want to build something, do it. That's the beautiful thing about software development, is once you understand how code works, you can invent anything. And I think it's a great rally cry to anybody who has that drive or that instinct of find a problem, go build something cool, and let's see where you can go, because it's really sort of limitless right now.
Super limitless. And just one last question. I don't know if we have time.
Sure.
But yeah, why not, right? What are the primary use cases driving adoption within the Polkadot AI ecosystem?
I don't know that I'm the best person to answer that. I think the speakers would be better to answer that, to be honest. But
Part two, then.
I think what's really interesting is the more time that I'm spending because remember, I am responsible for every vertical across Polkadot, so I'm jack of all trades, master of none. But it seems like every day there's a new use case that is really interesting to me. So I think that I would struggle to name the top one or two beyond what you heard tonight. But it's like one of those things where every day there's almost another one, and so it's just a really exciting time. And yeah, go figure out your own and build something, because the time is right.
Absolutely.
All right, now to the fun stuff. So I had mentioned at the top of the hour, we're going to give away some prizes and some merch. So anybody who registered for the webinar tonight, Grant is going to help me out and pull some random names out of the hat for me. We're going to give away 5 winners of either a Polkadot Inter Miami t-shirt or some of the cooling towels. If you went to any of the matches, you've seen the cooling towels. You have not seen the t-shirt, so I'm excited about that. The bigger prize actually is we're going to give away a ticket to the first 2025 Inter Miami match for next year. So that is exciting. And then finally, we're going to give away a gift certificate to Bolillo. So you can try that margarita con buffalo pizza. And as Sal alluded to it, the way that's going to work is, and especially if this is somebody that's coming from outside of the Polkadot ecosystem, or particularly outside of crypto even, you're going to order the pizza. It comes in a Polkadot branded pizza box. While you are enjoying your meal, we are going to set you up with a Nova mobile wallet, and you're going to leave with $10 worth of DOT on that wallet, because we really want to bring sort of normal everyday people into crypto and help them understand how easy it is to use and spend and deal with crypto, because it's going to be everywhere in the short amount of time. However, we do want all the winners to be local, because whoever is going to get the t-shirt or the towel or the tickets or the gift certificate, we're going to actually make you go to Bolillo to pick that up. And we are going to let you try the pizza when you go to pick that up. So thank you very much, Sal. Thank you very much, Bolillo, for extending that offer. And Grant, why don't you pick some 7 names?
All right, 7 names. Okay. Well, how about the first name? Michael Luong. Michael Luong, very first winner. Congratulations to you. Yes. Nice clap there. The first pick. So what does he win?
So he has a choice of the t-shirt or the cooling towel, and he doesn't have to pick right this minute. Just follow up with me afterwards, and I can coordinate with Sal. And then when you show up at the restaurant, your name will be on a list. You can pick whatever merch you want and go from there.
Great. And I think the second winner, might cheat a little bit here, because he just asked so many great questions. I'm going to go with Gus, number 2. Awesome. Gus asked some great questions. So, you're the second winner. There you go. That'd be Gus Izaguirre. Sorry if I messed up the name, but yep, there we go. We'll go ahead and get you that prize after. Yeah, let's go. And I am local. Perfect. That was a hopeful there. Now we can move on to number 3. So number 3, Eileen Nazario. Eileen Nazario. Okay, very amazing. I've seen her at a few different of the events. Congratulations to you, Eileen. Congratulations to you. And should I just keep going with the names?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's go. I don't know this person. Hope Clary. Hope Clary. Congratulations to Hope Clary.
Awesome.
Maybe I should check out, where this person is.
I know Hope. She's local.
Oh, she is? Okay, yep. Great. Okay, great. Yay, Hope Clary. Congratulations. Woof, woof. Okay, let me go ahead and keep on going. So we already got Gus. Okay, the next winner is Jimmy Nagels. Congratulations to you, Jimmy. Thank you for watching and for subscribing. Really appreciate it. And okay, perfect. The next person is named Kayode Odion. I do see the person might live in Jacksonville though. Jacksonville. Let me pull up another name. It might be a little farther away.
I'm happy we had a participant dialing in from Jacksonville. That's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we got Gianni Crivello. Boom, there we go. One of the great attendees, amazing person. Congratulations to Gianni. And last but not least, Gustavo Izaguirre. Congratulations, everybody, on winning some amazing prizes.
Great. So we're going to go in the order that they were drawn. So the first 5 winners get the shirt or the cooling towel. Name number 6 gets the ticket. Name number 7 gets the gift certificate. So again, follow up with me afterwards, and we'll get everything sorted out.
Congratulations, everybody.
All right, and with that, I am done. If there's any other questions, I'm happy to answer them. If not, thank you so much for watching.
It turns out Gus and Gustavo is the same person.
Then pull another name, pull another winner.
Yeah, another name, yes. Okay, so let's go with Warren Kolov. Warren, congratulations. Congratulations, Warren. Congratulations. Boom. There we go. So would that be the 7th person then? Warren? Or Gus, the last person? We'll figure that out.
We'll figure it out. Math is hard.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Great. So, thank you everyone for watching, and I'll go ahead and close out. How about that?
Perfect.
Great. So amazing. Thank you everyone for watching. This has been a great talk on Web3 and decentralized AI. We hope that you learned a lot. I know that we certainly did from our incredible speakers here tonight. Go ahead and like and subscribe, please. It really helps out our channel. Please subscribe to our YouTube and and follow our Twitter. That means a lot. And if you want to continue learning about AI generally, then please just continue watching and joining local communities like GPTuesdays and Miami AI Hub. Just for example, on December 10th, we are hosting with Miami-Dade College OpenAI for all developers in the area. And so that's just one of the people that we're going to be hosting. So we're looking forward to that. We've had speakers from Google, Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, you name it. And so we're just wanting everyone to stay ahead of the AI wave by sticking together and by learning together.
Can I make one more plug?
Absolutely.
Just and I'm stating the obvious a little bit here, but everybody has a different personality. But the really great thing that both you, Grant, and Borhan does with your respective organizations is you have this community, and it's a really vibrant community, and everybody's passionate around the same thing. Everybody wants everybody to succeed and lift each other up and help us learn something. And the best way that you can do that is just show up. I know it's challenging. Sometimes traffic is awful. Sometimes you're in a bad mood. Sometimes you're just not in the right frame of mind. But if you can force yourself to go to these events, I promise you, you're going to get way more out of it than you are going to put into it yourself. I personally always get like 10x more out of anything that I do.
What?
100%. So I just really encourage you to just show up. You're going to have a good time. You're going to learn something.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for saying that, James. I mean, you remind me so many times that I've been to my own events, right? And I have a question about something I'm working on, and then I can just ask a brilliant person in our community about, how I would solve this problem. And whoa, I just saved myself weeks of time, right? That, I would have had to go forward with that. And also the friendships that you acquire are amazing. That lasts a lifetime, and all of them are interested in what you're interested in, and they'll help you grow. They'll help you learn. And, you can even start companies together. You can, get more educated on AI. You can, you name it, you can get a job. There's just so many great things that come about from the community, and the friendships that you make along the way will last a lifetime. So I've learned the power of community is way more than you'll ever get by yourself. That's from my standpoint of leading a community. It's just been a very surreal experience. So I highly recommend it. Join a community and learn together. And with that, yeah, thank you everyone for coming, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.